It is common in difficult relationships to do a lot of talking, a lot of explaining, a lot of convincing, a lot of defending. And it's often counterproductive because saying too much to someone who doesn't want to hear you or understand you is going to come back onto you in a negative way if that is only the fact that you're expending too much energy, but it can also come back at you with the person getting angry, the person flipping it back on you, escalating the situation, holding resentments, all kinds of things. So, one of the things that you can do in a difficult relationship is an acronym called WAIT. And WAIT stands for Why Am I Talking? And it is something you need to ask yourself when you are tempted to talk too much to a difficult person. And that talking too much would be explaining, it would be all of those things that I just talked about, lecturing. So here are some reasons why you want to talk. One, you want to you might think reasons you might feel like I need to keep talking, I need to say something. One, to convince someone to do something that you feel needs to happen, but I have to tell them, I have to make this happen. To relieve your own anxiety and fear, big time in difficult relationships, lots of anxiety. To help someone understand what you feel, think, and need, sure, good reason. To argue and stir things up, yeah, if we're honest, we have to admit that sometimes we do want to just relieve the tension and fight or try to get what we want. It's hard to admit, but it's truthful. To describe an experience you have had so the person will understand. You want to tell them what happened that day, what went on, why you're upset or why you're anxious or why you're happy, or maybe something that you experienced with that person. To clarify expectations and relay boundaries, you might want to say, hey, I just want to let you know this is what I expect to happen, or this is what I expect you to do, or this is my expectation for your part in this relationship, or your boundary. I need to let you know that I'm not going to be able to do that anymore, or that I will only do this much. Yeah, sure. Reason to talk. To let someone know you are angry and tired. Okay, I'm tired. I'm upset. I'm irritable. Like I don't want to talk about this now, or I don't want to do this now, or I need to back off. So those are some reasons why you would want to talk, right? So they're normal, they're natural reasons, they make sense. But if you're in a relationship with somebody who is dysfunctional, difficult, toxic, they don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't really want to understand. So you got to make some adjustments. And here are just some examples of some of the adjustments you need to make. You speak only when you really need to for yourself. So you ask yourself, why am I talking? And if you can answer, because I need to say this. And I don't care if the person acknowledges it or doesn't acknowledge it, or if the person understands or gets upset with me. It's just something I got to say. And I'm going to tell you, there's times that I know, okay, this is not going to go down well, but I got to say it. And once I say it, I'm going to be fine and I'm going to walk away and I'm going to deal with it. But I just need to know I've said it and I need to be clear. Great, no problem. Next one, you stop speaking when you've said what you need to say instead of repeating yourself over and over trying to convince the other person. So when you say something, you say it once, let it go. Don't keep adding more information, explaining, defending, justifying, all of those things so that you convince the person. And you don't say the same thing over and over. If you've said it and it hasn't gone anywhere, even if the person pretends that they didn't understand or they didn't hear you, they did. The person, they hear you. They understand the language you're speaking. They heard you. They just might not want to acknowledge it or admit it, but they heard you. So you don't need to say the same thing over and over again. That usually comes back to bite you because you're accused of nagging. The person doesn't listen to you. You don't get in the middle of other people's relationships by saying things that they need to say for themselves. Like other people need to do their own talking, their own communicating with people that they are in relationship with. You don't have to go be their mediator. Okay. So these are just some examples of reasons that you might not want to talk when you ask yourself the question, why am I talking? And you say, oh, because I'm trying to fix the relationship between mom and my sister. Uh, Not a good reason to talk, right? I'm trying to convince this person they're hurting me. Unless it's a boundary of it's not going to happen anymore, probably not a good reason to talk, right? Or I've got to say it again. I know I've said it 50 times. I got to say it one more time because if I don't, I'm going to be super anxious until I say it. Probably going to come back on you, but if you really have to, go ahead. But you want to ask this question, why am I talking? Then you are the one that gets to decide if the reason justifies talking, or if the fallout or the backlash or the response is going to come back on you, and you're going to be sorry. So when you ask that question, why am I talking? Listen to your answer and make a decision. Do I want to? Is it worth it? What do I expect? So wait before you speak and ask the question, why am I talking? Then decide. Okay, scriptures, Proverbs 10:19. When words are many, sin is not absent, but he who holds his tongue is wise. This doesn't mean every time that you have too many words or many words that you're sinning, but it is, in my experience, likely the probability increases the more you say, especially to a difficult person, because you start to get wound up and you start to get reactive. Job 15, 2 through 3 says, would a wise man answer with empty notions or fill his body with the hot east wind? Would he argue with useless words, with speeches that have no value? Probably not if he was wise. Okay, so that's a great question. Asking the same thing. If I'm a wise person, would I keep saying all this empty stuff and go on with useless words? If I were wise, probably not. Psalm 141:3, set a guard over my mouth, O Lord, keep watch over the door of my lips. Yes, amen. We all need help with that, especially at certain times. So I hope this video helped you and that you will remember to ask yourself to wait before you speak and answer, why am I talking? God bless you.